Wisconsin Instructor Renewal is on a 3-year rotation. So as an example, if you last renewed in the calendar year 2019 by December 31st, what you have is calendar year 2020, 2021, and 2022 to December 31st of 2022, where you're authorized to be in the Motorcycle Skills Test Waiver Program. So looking at this letter here, if it's time to renew, you would have received the letter. It's letting you know December 31st of the year we're on, your authorization is set to expire. There's some criteria that you need to meet to be eligible for recertification at the end of your 3-year period. Those items are outlined in this letter for us. So as an example, we have to teach 3 license waiverable programs. So we're talking about a license waiver BRC, BRC2, or 3-wheel BRC class. We must attend 1 department-conducted or pre-approved instructor in-service program. 70% of that has to be curriculum-related. So not everything counts towards that. Some MSF classes certainly count towards that, VRETs, RRETs, the EP 1x11 certification. Certainly Wisconsin PDWs would count towards that as well. We must maintain a valid MSF card. That means you must keep that renewal up with MSF. They're on a 2-year renewal cycle versus our 3-year renewal cycle. And then you have to maintain a satisfactory driving record, and those items that you have to be within the guidelines are listed here, and they're listed in Trans 129. And then you must pass a background check. So when you fill out the application, we receive that and we go through some checks, and it's important that that application be filled out properly, and that's what we're going to take a look at next. So here we have the instructor application. It's a SP 3574. We've seen versions of this before. For most of us, this would be a renewal for us, unless we just went through a writer coach prep or we're coming in from out of state and we're doing our original, okay? We also have our WSDOT instructor number. It's a 4-digit number normally, unless you were really early in the program, that you would enter application date. Instructor name. We ask that you put your legal name in there, what you would have on your driver's license, because that way it helps us when we do our background check, having that full legal name. Your MSF Rider Coach number, and your MSF expiration date. You can find that through the member finder in RETS.org if you happen not to remember what yours is, or you can see it under your profile there. Your current address, city, state, zip code. Driver's license numbers are important. Make sure you have a Wisconsin driver's license, you have the full number in there. And if you're from out of state, but you're still in the Wisconsin Motorcycle Skills Test Waiver Program, we want you to indicate what state you're from, so Illinois, Minnesota. The one caveat we have with out-of-state renewals is, from out-of-state, you have to submit to us a driver's abstract from your state. We don't have the ability to go into the system like we do here in Wisconsin to check your driving record. So when you submit your application for renewal, please include your driver's abstract from Minnesota, Illinois typically, but whatever state you're coming from, submit that abstract as well. Date of birth, email address. We update our information as far as your status in our system based on this form. So please update any information that you need to update here. List the location and date of the most recent Rider Coach prep. So whatever Rider Coach prep you went through, you can list that here. And the next area is very important as far as that PDW activity. We want you to list a minimum of 8 hours of rider education related professional development activities sponsored or approved by WMSP within the last 3 years. One thing to note again is that CPR recertification or first aid training doesn't count towards this. Remember, it has to be 70% curriculum related. So we're talking about VRETs, RRETs, PDWs hosted by WMSP, the EP 1x11, etc. Those activities need to be listed in here. The activity, the location, and the date. It needs to be verifiable. So we go in and we verify that you have met that criteria. If not, we'll contact you saying we don't see that you've met the criteria necessary. Supply some more documentation so that we can process your application. In section B here, we want you to list any offenses, data convictions, charges, describe the offense to us, because there is, again, criteria outlined by Trans 129 that may affect your ability to be renewed in Wisconsin. Section C here, WSDOT site number. This is different than the MSF number that they give us for our particular site. So what we would like to have in here is the WSDOT site number. It's normally a 4-digit number that your site has that you can put in here. If you don't know what your site number is, contact your training provider and ask them, what's our 4-digit site number, so you can put it in here. If you have the MSF number as well for that particular site, for the REIRP, you can add it in as an addition to that, but please, we want that 4-digit WSDOT number, site and location. And then certainly we want you to type your name and date, which basically authorizes us to go through our process in verifying your eligibility. Once your instructor application has been approved and processed, you'll receive a letter that lets you know that you're valid for the next 3 years. So in the example that we have here, if you're renewing here by December 31st of 2022, you will be valid until December 31st of 2025. If you have any questions about this process, please feel free to reach out to us, contact your regional rider coach trainer. Take care and ride safe.